Welcome to episode 6 of the Sin and Nerds. Who's over there? Who are you?
JP.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm James. And today, we got a little change up.
We got a special guest with us today. We got Rick from the Whole Damn Enchilada podcast.
And now I'm hungry.
Oh, enchiladas. Yeah.
We should have made enchiladas for this.
We
did not think.
I should have brought
It just hit me. Like, we could chimichangas or something, man. Damn.
Wow.
I do like food and enchiladas and Mexican food.
Mexican food is good.
So, before we even go into anything, why don't we tell us a little bit, tell everybody about your podcast and what you usually cover.
We do a horror podcast every week, Thursdays on Facebook. Thursdays at 7, Facebook and YouTube. We go live. It's mostly about horror, and we wanted to incorporate other stuff like music and like we're big wrestling fans, but that didn't really work out. So we just do mostly like review horror movies. Like last week we did a horror trivia podcast. We've had JP on a couple times just to review like a whole year worth of movies.
Those episodes tanked, right?
They did.
Those were some of his best.
They were.
episodes.
To you, maybe.
To his viewers.
To
as
my
well.
So
viewers, yeah.
it's funny. I haven't been a wrestling fan since I was a kid, but I did go to WrestleMania in 2013,
Nice.
and so I love like I have a friend of mine who's lived and died for wrestling, and every time I talk to him, I go, "Hey, just want to remind you, I made it there before you." You know, and he gets so mad he hangs
Dude,
up on
I
me.
loved the Roddy Piper era.
God, how old are you?
And then I went
Piper
away.
is one of the greatest
Yes.
wrestlers of
I thought he was
all
talking
time.
about your dog.
He was in
And
one
they
of the
live.
greatest horror movies of
They
all
live.
time.
I thought he was talking about your
I have
dog.
an entire Funko set, by the way. I love it.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, though, I went away and I came back because Goldberg brought me back in. I had a
No,
Goldberg.
I can't agree.
I
with
did
that.
actually
Oh,
like
I love
Goldberg
it.
back in the day, but
Goldberg when he was out, like you didn't think that was like some of the coolest shit ever. Like yeah, he's a stiff and you can't really work. But
Dude, him versus like
intense.
Rock or Stone Cold, like those are some of the.
Piper,
Piper's great.
Vader.
Vader was a monster.
Vader. I was a big Shawn Michaels fan.
I'll give you that.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Bruce the fucking barber.
I had to
He was
be-
super over though, man. As
I
a
ha-
kids, everybody liked him.
I had to be a big Rock fan when he first came out because I was anti-Stone Cold, so I had to root for the bad guy with the Rock. And
All right. Well, before we derail completely here,
Back to the movie.
Jesus. So,
what movie? We hadn't even talked about.
what
the
movie? Well, do you want me to say it or do you want to say it?
Hey, you go. You're the one that loves.
So
this
I am
movie.
upset with all of you. I'm upset with them.
This was the fan choice.
This was the fan choice, and there were so many good movies on that poll on Facebook, and you idiots chose this. Constantine
I
was
think-
on this list, and
I
you
think they're
guys.
pretty intelligent, James. I'm going to say
All
fuck
of
you
you.
and
I voted
for them.
because I had never seen it, and I've always wanted to.
So,
see it.
so you didn't even watch it. You
Oh,
just
so
voted for
I
something you
have-
never saw. That
Yeah,
see
but
now,
that's
see
why I
this
wanted
this poll was skewed. This poll was so skewed.
I didn't know
This
about.
bullshit. And then JP, oh, I picked yours, but then you wanted Constantine so bad. I'm just gonna purposely pick the one that you don't. So JP is an asshole.
Hey, I will say this.
But-
I had a friend that had added Carnosaur to that poll, and he was campaigning and begging people to make us watch Carnosaur because he wanted to see all of our reactions for that movie. And I have seen. I don't know
What
if-
kind of
have you
people
seen
do
that
we have
movie?
watching us that
I
we
might
are
have.
picking
It's
shitty
been a
I
long
movies?
time.
I have actually seen
Carnosaur
Carnosaur.
sounds like a C movie that would be on Tubi for free with horrible CGI.
Carnosaur is a D movie. It's not.
So it's even worse.
It's even
Fantastic.
I
worse.
think I
It's
saw this years
complete-
back on Sci-Fi
Yeah,
Channel
it's,
at like
it's,
3
it's
a.m.
complete,
Right,
it's complete garbage. And
At 3 a.m. I was watching Duckman.
I would have been there for this had that got voted in to see James's face.
I wouldn't have watched it.
I think we won't. I mean, the other movie you picked, we won't talk about that one. But that one was, I understand James more on that one than I do
Oh,
Hobo.
come on.
I
Yes.
understand. I don't agree. I understand.
So today,
You don't agree. but
So
you understand.
There's so
today-
much goodness to that one.
today is Hobo with a Shotgun. 2011. Looks like it was made in 1972.
It was meant to
That's the
look like that.
intention.
That's the intention.
I understand that, but it was just garbage.
Initial reaction.
Garbage.
So yours is
Trash.
garbage. We know this.
Hot,
You're next.
burning trash.
I have seen this movie before. Now, I love this movie when I
Did you put
originally
this on
saw
the
it.
list to be polled?
No, fans did. I don't know
Oh
who.
my
I don't
God,
know
we
who
have to
That was Heather.
reevaluate so
Was
many.
it Heather?
I swear to God, it was Heather.
No, she was happy it was on there, but she didn't do that.
Oh, okay. I thought she did.
I like this movie, but I had only saw this movie one time. Watching it again, I still enjoyed this movie a lot, but it's a mediocre movie for me.
Like I started to say, the funny things we were talking about wrestling for like 5 minutes in the beginning of this. The director to the movie, he was actually the director for the Dark Side of the Ring series and the Tales of the Territory series. So he has like a wrestling background. So that was just pretty ironic.
Yeah, I didn't know that. What was your initial reaction?
Oh man, I freaking loved it. I've seen it 3 times.
Since this? Since we
Because I never seen it. That's why I voted.
You've
for
gone
it.
back 3 times in the last 2 weeks?
I watched it this morning. man.
Jesus Christ. I need to reevaluate so many things in my life because I will never watch this again. Never. No, never.
I loved it.
You would have to somehow get me in a position where I am like somehow tied up and like then you'd be like, oh, and guess what? That's not what we're doing. This is what's happening. And I would just bounce my way out of the room on a chair because I'm never going to watch this shit again.
Okay, Brian, your
All right.
initial.
So, for people who are not familiar with grindhouse movies or pulp movies, like in this vein, it's going to come across as a shock. It's going to be like, what the hell am I watching? Like James, who's not really into that thing. Now, if you're familiar with them,
Yes.
this is a cult classic. It's amazing. It's great. Rutger Hauer,
How can
I'm
it be a
always
cult
fan.
classic? It's not even like 20 years old.
It don't have to be.
Why
that
do you
old.
think the people voted it, James? That's a cult classic.
It's like Machete Kills, part of the same
But
story.
all I'm
bless you.
saying,
What?
all I'm saying is that I did appreciate the elements of it, and you of all people should appreciate it because you are a fan of the vigilante who wants to get back at everyone like Batman.
Yeah. It was a very
But I'm also-
superhero-esque movie.
But I'm also not into this kind of gore.
Okay.
Like, just, I mean, I've always hated every movie where, like, someone's head pops off and it's just, like, that would never happen. It's not how it works.
Didn't
It's
you
not.
say you like the Terrifier?
Huh?
Didn't you say you like Terrifier?
Are you high?
You couldn't get past the Saul.
I
scene.
saw, look, when it got to that upside down cross and, like, and he starts saw. I know my couch is like an L shape in my living room, and I can walk right behind it. And my wife's sitting there watching it. And she said she's gonna watch it. And I was playing guitar. I came out in the kitchen, and it's at that part. And I walked up behind her, and it was like 9:30 at night, and I go, "That's disgusting, and you're disgusting for watching this. I'm going to bed." And I went to our room, and I turned on TV in the bedroom. That movie, disgusting. Anybody who loves that much gore and horror and this and that, there's something broken in you. That's just my personal opinion.
I'm not
That's
usually
just-
a fan of the giant gore flicks.
Like,
but
I don't-
I like Terrifier and I like this.
I don't.
I feel attacked.
I told you, nobody's safe at this point. All of you who picked this bullshit, all of you who, and now I'm kind of, I understand, I'm setting myself up now because everyone's going to be like, well, let's just pick the shitty one every time so James gets all pissy. Don't be an asshole. Pick good movies. But,
I will say this.
because Constantine is a great
Alright,
movie that makes you think.
you
There's
keep
no
saying-
thinking here.
Hold
This
on.
is just overact. The whatever the bad guy, Drake, is that what his name
Drake.
was? That guy, he overacted his part to where it annoyed me.
And that's
His-
the point.
I know that's why people love it. I hate that. I did appreciate the anger towards. And shut up and let me finish this because I know you're going to chime in. I know I appreciated how they wrote in the anger towards the homeless guys and how people were like looked down on them because that's bullshit. We have a homeless problem in our country, and so like in Jacksonville it's really bad where I live. Like you drive downtown and it's like holy shit, it's nothing like in Cleveland. It's a problem, and so hitting that actually finding like a real actual problem actually that resonated a little bit with me. But with that being said, when they do horror movies like this, I understand what they're going for. You can tell me this all day. I understand it. Personally, I think it's stupid. I don't like it. I think it's disgusting. No one's head's just going to, and blood just shoot out like it's pressurized, or lose an arm or whatever.
I think you're a horrible human being. He was a homeless man who just wanted to get ahead of the game by having a lawnmower to feel human.
That's the only part of the movie I liked. And then what did he do? He went in to get a lawnmower and walked out with a gun.
Because
He had to.
I understand that, but or he could have just got his lawnmower and made himself a part of the normal society instead of being looked down on.
But he was tired of having a blind eye to this.
So
He
all
wanted
you're
to take
doing is
action.
justifying the bullshit of this movie, is how I
I'm
see it.
justifying the vigilante.
When in that movie, the normal society was not normal in that city, so I don't think he was going to be.
What was I saying during our sound check? Fuck you, JP. Fuck you.
I'm just saying.
JP didn't do it.
You're the one that likes vigilantes, and that's.
I like
essentially
one.
What
It is
No,
You like
we
Green
talked. We
Arrow.
went down a list. Yeah, you like all the ones without the superpowers. This
No
dude doesn't have superpowers.
You're just trying to justify bullshit right now, and that's all I'm gonna say.
No, listen. I'm not. I'm not going to justify it. And if your taste is your taste, ultimately. So it's. We can give grief, but at the same token, I'm just trying to correlate it to something for you, so that you resonate more with it, and just understanding that genre as well. Like just understanding that's
I will say this.
intentional.
I just looked up something that I completely forgot about because I looked this up after I watched it. I cannot wait for the end of when we're wrapping up.
Okay,
What does that mean?
When we get there.
you'll see.
When we get there.
What you talking about the budget versus?
Oh, fuck
But
yeah.
that doesn't matter.
Oh, now it don't matter.
No.
Now it doesn't matter. Of all the
What are you
movies we
talking-
watched.
No, what are you talking about? I chose Fat Man on our one episode, and it tanked in the theater, and I was talking about how it's a great movie and how it shouldn't have tanked. So numbers don't matter.
Well, I'm
to me.
sure that this movie
Speaking-
wasn't on many screens either. That's got to be taken into consideration when you're
Yeah.
talking about the budget.
Most
This
Grindhouse.
probably wasn't shown on everywhere, every theater, 10 screens. at a
This budget,
I don't
is,
even
this
know.
budget is so small
It
that
should be.
I am surprised that it was even made. I'm just being honest.
Oh, most of that budget was probably paying Rutger Hauer.
I would
Yeah.
actually love to know how much it went to him. I would love to know that. I wonder if I could look that
You
up.
say put in how much was Rutger Hauer paid for Homo? I forgot. What
He
I was
wasn't
gonna say.
supposed
Yeah.
to be the bum, the hobo. It was supposed to be the guy from the original trailer that they showed in the Grindhouse movies, but I guess he was like real flaky and didn't show up, and they just had to replace him with this guy. And
Are
it
you?
would have been, I don't know if you recall seeing the trailer in the Grindhouse movies, which I never did before, but I did for this, and he would not have been good. The guy that they originally had would have been nowhere near as
Yeah, I
good.
never watched the original trailers. I don't know who was.
Yeah, I did that this morning.
I always saw this.
As soon as I found out that
Rutger.
that's what it was from, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I always saw this.
And I
with
wanted to
Rutger
see
Hauer,
that
and
Thanksgiving trailer, and I never seen that either, so that was on there too.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I want to see that
It's
because I
good.
saw you
It's
post
good,
good
yeah.
about things about it. Are you a fan of Rutger Hauer and anything else? By
I
chance?
don't even. I didn't
I have
even
no
know
idea
it
who
was.
he is. to
I
be
didn't
honest.
even-
Blade
Blade
Runner?
Runner?
Never saw it.
No,
He's one of
I
the
never-
replicants. He's
I don't know Blade Runner.
Uh,
I know what it is, but I've never seen
Blind Fury,
yeah. Well, I don't think they know that.
Omega
but-
Doom, which is an Albert Payan movie.
it. Hey, you brought him up on another podcast.
If you
I bring
spent,
Albert Payan up on every podcast.
Well, when we get to your movie, I've got a lot to talk about that stuff, and especially Miles, the character.
You went. I bet. Did you go down the rabbit hole of the director?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. I'm gonna let it unfold naturally with you, JP, because I know you're gonna take me through the whole catalog.
His wheels are
Why are you
turning.
breathing like that?
I'm trying to find this. I
Oh.
want to know. I don't see anything though, and I'm gonna waste too much time trying to find it. So I'll deal with it later. I didn't know. I just, this is just not me. Like these are not my films. Like I appreciate, like we've talked about this before. I appreciate the Saw movies for the creatism of the first couple. After
they get-
that, it's
yeah.
just the same thing over and over and over, just
Right.
different ways of doing the same thing, and that gets boring to me. The whole, like,
Did you like the new one?
I won't watch them.
The new one is good. It
there's
goes
no-
back to the first two.
I'm
The
good.
rest suck.
I'm good. There should look, I feel like certain songs should be retired from ever being played again on radio or anywhere. Just like I feel certain movies after a certain number just should stop making movies. The Fast and Furious should be stopped. Saw should be stopped. Like they're just, we get it. You did it. We understand. Like you're kind of killing. To me, you start
No,
killing your legacy.
They
Yeah,
cannot
absolutely.
stop
Sports
Fast and
people,
the Furious.
sports people should stop
James.
sometimes before
James.
they just run themselves out.
James, they cannot stop Fast and the Furious till we get Fast and the Furious in space.
I've been saying the same thing. Like I enjoy the Fast and Furiouses, but
I don't need the buzz like
I
you.
do. But I enjoy them for
Wasn't
this.
me.
The worst
Okay.
movies ever.
No, hear me out. I enjoy them because my son and I would go to the theater and watch every one of them. So it was a thing that me and my son did. And then on the flip side of that, well, first before I get off, me and my son and I always going family. So there's that.
Rutger Hauer had a cameo in Batman Begins.
Yes, he did.
I haven't seen
A
Batman.
vigilante.
Batman
in a
Begins
vigilante
actually
movie?
really pissed me off.
The second reason I enjoy them is they're so ridiculous at this point that I just love them for their being over the top.
I mean, I appreciate your love for shitty film. The fact that you are able to just love it.
I do.
I mean, you admit it, you embrace it. It's I get it, but I will not. And I like movies that make me think. I like movies that make me go, damn, at the end. Again, I know we've talked about it like a couple times now, but the game at the end, you're like you sit there for a minute. Like, and I will say, after I saw it, I sat there for about 5 minutes and I just thought, damn, that guy's either a genius or a psychopath who wrote this. But it was genius,
Yes.
and I give credit where it's due.
The first
But
Saw
this
movie
stuff
is
to
an
me,
absolute classic. And afterwards,
but most
it's-
horror movies to me are literally here. Okay, best way I can describe it. You're all into heavy metal like I am. Ryan, you ready? It's just like any band that just goes, we got to write as heavy as it can be. That riff's not heavy enough. And then the next riff's got to be heavier. There's no ups and downs. There's no peaks and valleys. There's no melodic to heavy. There's no feeling.
Just heavy
It's
for the
just
sake of
everything.
heavy.
Hey, after 2 songs, the whole record sounds the same, and I'm going to turn it off. And that's how I feel when it comes to these kind of movies. All they do is go, how shitty. Like, literally, I really actually feel like they sit there and go, that needs to be shittier.
Well,
That needs to be like less acted and shittier. Like I really do feel like that happens on these sets,
no, it does, and I agree.
and that's why I don't like
I
it. Because you're
agree.
trying to dumb down something to just hit something that has already been done enough.
But
Find something new. That's the problem with cinema right now. We keep getting the same shit regurgitated over and over and over, and that's why we have this.
Well,
but hang on, because I agree with.
I just found out Ted
hang
is
on.
now a series.
Hang on.
I'm
Look,
sure it is, but
listen to me. I agree with you. It is, especially the grindhouse stuff. Let's be over the top and let's just do this. And
Was Kill Bill part of that?
And no,
But it was very similar.
very similar.
Okay.
Tarantino has an obsession and an
Yeah.
influence from Grindhouse.
But grindhouse is very over the top. It's very kind of cult. It's meant to be cheesy and kind of a cult film
Trash.
style way. Trash. And that's how they're filmed. And so I agree with you that is what those films are, and that's what a lot of films are trying to be now.
No, I have a question.
No, I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm not done.
Fuck you.
However, when you talk about my love for shitty films, I like the stuff that comes out of the 80s and early 90s. The difference is,
They couldn't do it good back then.
well,
They couldn't. They didn't have
some of the stuff they did, but the big difference for me,
giant rats.
the big difference for me versus the 1980s films like this and the new ones
got
that
that?
are like this is in the 80s, most of these writers and directors it was literally like they snorted a big line of cocaine and said, this is what we're going to do.
Giant rats.
Now
We actually had this exact conversation about the giant
now,
rats.
movies like Hobo with the Shotgun, it's more about let's just be completely ridiculous with with blowing this person's head off or blowing their arms off in blood. I get it. I completely agree. And it loses the charm of the directors and writers snorting a big line of cocaine and going, guess what we're going to do today? You know, it's missing that charm. I think all these directors should start doing cocaine again.
I think there was a lot of cocaine done in this movie. Not just in the movie, but in the production of this movie. But
Yeah,
this might be
I don't think the
exception to
cocaine
rules.
scenes were faked by any means.
I
But hold on. So to your point though, you were just talking about how there's so much regurgitated shit out there, right? The only way that you can get platforms for directors, for writers, for other actors to be able to bridge forward is with films like this, though. That is how we can do it. Because right now, all you're getting is the
Name someone else
regurgitated.
out of this movie besides him.
I don't need to.
the guy from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Which-
Oh no! Let's talk about that. Thank you.
I'm not done.
Oh, I don't care.
Hold on. No.
Fuck you,
Not done.
JP.
This is
That's
important.
gonna be the theme of today.
You're too worked up today, so I'm gonna get my words in here before I don't. So
Rob is my.
I have
one
a
of my
big
favorite
problem
actors.
though in Hollywood right now with the fact of the regurgitated bullshit, like you were saying. So, like to me, they basically take a fucking formula, stick to it, and they don't fucking let any new ideas come in. You get all the fucking
like
Marvel
music.
movies, all the it's
Write the
over and
same
over.
song over and
So,
over.
but you've got all these original, creative, independent ideas and directors and new talent coming up that they won't give a chance to because of that. And movies like Hobo the Shotgun, if I'm being honest, those low budget where people take a risk and gamble. Rutger Hauer, if you keep reading through that, he was so intrigued by it, even though Eisner, the director, thought he wouldn't be. Said, Rutger, this probably isn't the film for you. And Rutger got more interested in it and wanted to jump into it. So what I'm saying though is like we need more aspects and more films like this to help us bridge forward and give us those things we normally wouldn't get. So now you can go.
They killed the only guy that I would have cared about in this whole movie in the beginning.
Let's talk about that death scene.
Hold on, wait. So I will give him credit. The way that they did
The
things,
sewer
that whole
lid?
I actually thought that was kind of
Bravo.
creative. But the trashiest I watch of anything TV is definitely Trailer Park Boys. That's like the lowest end I can watch and actually really enjoy it.
I haven't watched it. I won't watch it. I have no care to watch
You're
it.
missing out.
I like Trailer.
After the first season, it got really good. It's like any other good show. Like you need to get through the first season and then you're good. They killed the only guy I cared about.
But they killed him in a very amazing way.
I would very much love to have that prosthetic head. I just want one so bad.
The severed
that one's
portion
pretty
that you could
cool.
see when it rolled, I was like, oh, okay, all right. It was very well
I
done.
love the whole idea.
Right when
of
that
having-
happened, I looked at Heather and I go, I'm done. Turn this shit off.
I love the idea of having a sewer, a manhole cover around somebody's head and dropping them down a manhole.
I mean, just alone. Let's think about the other aspects of that. Like that could be like you don't have to just drive away or pull. You can leave them like that, and the sewer rats will literally eat away the body.
Yeah, they're eventually
there's-
going to die.
there's some serious.
That guy just from like, hey.
Yeah, it was.
Let's talk a little bit more about some of their creativeness. So when the I forgot her name, the prostitute.
Abby?
Yes, when she gets her hand severed and she uses her bone to stab the dude, I was like, that's fucking good. That's gold right there. Like
Yeah.
that's creative
All
as hell,
practical
too.
effects too, no
Yeah.
computers, which is beautiful.
Like,
That's one thing I liked about. And I don't think there's any CG.
There's
in
none.
this. There's none. I would say it's all practical. So, yeah, all the effects were fucking over the top amazing in this movie.
But that's the thing. I think that's what bothers me is like in the 80s. I mean, okay, like what was it the Avatar? They didn't make. He wanted to make that movie years ago.
Yeah.
But he couldn't make it because it was going to cost so much money to do the effects. We have the technology now. And I know for some people that's actually an issue because they feel like everything, the art of the film is being ruined by all the CGI. But with
All right.
that being said, that's what made the 80s movies. That's why you love them so much. So let's stop trying to duplicate something that's
but-
already been done.
but your choice
that's
for this next run of movies contradicts everything you just said.
How do you figure?
The Abyss. They were so low. Like he purposely did everything in the water.
But that's what
like,
I'm saying. That was a 1989 movie, though.
But still
back then, that's the
holds
best
up.
they could do.
but still holds up.
Agreed. But I'm just saying, like, but my point is now here in 2011, we're shooting this movie, and let's make it look like it was shot 25 years ago.
Well, that's
I know that's
the
the point,
intent.
but I don't like it.
But this is
I don't know if
this,
more the intent or like you were leading to the budget was so low that they probably couldn't do things.
well, this is.
But I
my
think
thing.
that was their point, though. Like, I agree with JP. This is what they wanted to shoot.
Yeah.
They
This is
got what they wanted. I
This
know
is what
that.
they wanted
You could
to
tell.
shoot. But this is, and I said this a few episodes ago that talking about practical effects versus CGI. I don't care how good CGI is. You're going to look at it and it goes, I know that that's CGI. I know that that's not real. But some practical effects, you can't tell if that's real or not. And that's why I love practical
Like
effects.
a great one that I actually loved watching how it was made. That movie right there, Alice in Wonderland. How they had the whatever his name, I can't remember his name right now, but the guy who was with the Queen of Hearts. how he was extended. His body was actually extended. Did you guys ever, his legs? He was on stilts that was wrapped in green to make it a green screen leg.
Right.
But he still walked on those stilts. They did what they had to do, but he was still moving as if it was him. It wasn't fake. That's the kind of stuff that I like. These Transformers movies, I can't stand the Transformers movies.
No,
It's just
that's a whole
and
nother
all
argument.
the fighting that happens, you can't even tell what the hell's happening because it's
I might
so
be in the
close.
minority there.
Huh?
I'll be in the minority there, but go ahead.
I just
Oh,
every
I
time they get in a fight scene, you don't know what the hell's going on. It's such a close range of the fight that I don't even know who's hitting who and what's what.
As just quick, Transformers, I hate it because I'm such a huge Transformers fan. I feel like Michael Bay ruined them.
So hold on,
so long.
rewind, because I feel like he made up for it in Bumblebee, and the new movie with Rise of the
Oh no,
Damage
I
has
will
been done.
argue. I will argue on that.
Damage has
Well,
been
I
done.
watched all the Beast Wars. I followed. I have all the toys. I'm huge too.
I'm a huge Beast Wars fan.
I mean,
Just for this
I hate
point,
because I hated
one
that whole new
point,
style of animation.
one point along. I know we're getting away from Hobo, but one point
That's
along
my
why,
fault. Fuck you, JP.
why I say the new Rise of the Beast was horrible compared to the Beast Wars. In the Beast Wars, how big was Optimus Primal?
Listen, none
How
of it.
big was Optimus Primal versus
None of it.
Optimus Prime?
You're right, but none of it's going to be what we want. We're not going to get the version of Beast Wars that we
Okay,
want.
since we're going here, I have a question, and then we're gonna go back to this movie. But this is one of those things where like, yeah, I have not watched a lot of the Marvel movies that we all know this, but I have seen Venom. I've seen Deadpool, those movies. Now Venom, I actually the first Venom I went and saw it twice in the theater. I went with two different friends because they wanted to see it. Now me and my buddy Charlie were sitting there watching it, and we had the conversation while the credits were running.
Land the plane.
Huh?
Land the plane. You said you had a question. You're telling us stories.
Shut up. But here's the thing. He was telling me how he really enjoys the movie, but he sees where people are coming from that are like, oh, it's not the comic book. It's not. You can't expect it to be.
You
This
can't
is-
ever. Yeah.
And I've gotten into
In the
arguments with
comic
people.
books, there's 10 different
Like,
ways.
yeah, like there's too many universes. There's too many
Right.
things. Can you just be happy
Let
that
that
you
guy
got a
tell his
movie
story.
on
Well,
him
that's what I was gonna say.
instead, and
So,
just
like,
take it for what it is?
It's the
That's
closest that I'm gonna get. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
like Ghostbusters.
And I
Did you
tried.
like the new
And I
the
tried.
Afterlife?
I've loved every Ghostbusters.
Anybody, except even the girl one?
Even the girl one.
Oh.
Even
You're
the girl
that's
one, I
weird.
love it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but
I
here's the
enjoyed
thing.
it, but I didn't.
But
Here-
I understand.
It's
the
the
same way.
least favorite,
I had
but it's
I had
still
people
good.
that were losing their mind over that, and we won't go into this. We already did this once, but the Flash movie, I had some friends complaining about that, and I'm like, can you guys when are you guys just going to take it for? Hey, we got a pretty cool movie. You got to spend 2.5 hours, not in reality,
This is
to
what it's
see
like being a
another
Star Wars
89
fan.
Batman.
100%.
And
Yes.
see like some cool shit. Yeah, the CGI was kind of garbage.
Right.
Who cares? Nick Cage was in it.
Right.
Does that stuff bother you guys that it doesn't
That
follow
was-
those storylines?
This is the one area where you and I will see eye to eye completely because I don't need it to be the similar storyline.
I don't want it to be. You
I
want the
want
same thing
I
over and
want
over.
more I want more content. And I'll take it any which way I can get it, even if it's shitty. I want the content to come out because if it stops, it's gonna stop. We're not gonna get.
You'll
any
never
more.
get it back. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
restart.
They're not gonna.
Because
they're not-
all they're going to do is go, well, what
Well-
happened 20 years ago? It's
well,
not going to work.
Fantastic Four and X-Men would say otherwise, but
I just, we don't,
Batman too.
these things aren't really thought about. Like, and like me, like, you saw it. We went, the Willy Wonka movie.
Oh, I loved it.
Wonka was great. And everyone, and my friends had asked me, well, what'd you think? I said, all I hope is that it continues in the storyline so we understand why he got bitter. And then,
Oh,
and then my
yeah,
friend,
I didn't even think
and then
about
my
that.
friends were like, "Well, we
Yeah.
know what. I think you guys said it. Well, it was the whatever his name was, the Worth guy. The Worth guy. He was like, oh, well, he's a
What
pro-"
did he do?
But yeah, but I want to know what caused
Yeah.
it. I want like that's like the
mean,
next
he
one.
really changed.
If that doesn't dive in, if that doesn't dive into that storyline of the next one, I'm gonna be actually really
Just got
upset.
me really excited because I
Because-
never even thought.
Yeah,
that
like
they would-
what? Like
yeah.
because all
I
we've
do wanna
ever
see
seen,
that, and I hope they go that way.
all we've ever seen of Willy Wonka is he was an angry guy, or he was the recluse guy that decided, okay, time to come back. I'll let you in.
Yeah.
But we never knew really what happened.
Right.
Like they touch on it, but they don't give you the whole story. So that's where I'm at with it. But we really went off on a tangent.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I apologize.
Derailed.
So
Part of my
what-
fault, but hopefully you guys enjoyed me bitching and them trying to say I'm wrong.
One of the things you'll see consistently with me throughout these reviews is that, you're very fixated on the effects, which is fine. But to me, and that's one of the things I had to look at with your choice for the series too, is if the story is good. I'm
I
on
didn't
board.
even know that was a giant rat until he told me in that movie.
So, but
We'll
if
get
the,
there.
but if
We'll
this,
get
but
there.
if this, yeah, we won't.
I'm
I
just-
gotta go home and watch this.
I'm
so
just,
you
no,
can-
you don't.
But
Don't waste your
stories,
time.
no,
do it.
you'll
Skip
enjoy
the
it.
first 15 minutes.
So, anyways, if the story is
It took
good
me
though,
45
I'm on
minutes
board.
to watch the first 15 minutes. That's not even a joke. But anyway, back to this
Do we
mess.
have to start passing around a thing to hold while we talk?
This is the point.
No, screaming
We're
over
gonna
each
get
other
a
is not the
stick. It's
point.
gonna be the talking stick. You can't speak unless you
So-
in your hands.
So, anyways,
Fuck you.
story matters. Go ahead.
This is all you guys on this movie. I have nothing else to
You've said nothing to say.
No, I mean, I really just did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy this movie at all. The storyline wasn't terrible. Don't get me wrong. The storyline actually wasn't terrible. I did not hate that. I'm not a big overacting guy. The two sons were just way over the top for me. The girl was okay. He was okay. The dad was okay. The city was just insanity. Like, the city deserved to burn. They're all assholes. Every cop was an asshole. Everything was, I mean, it was a typical...
It was just corrupt. The whole city,
whole city was corrupt. And so
Like
all the
Gotham.
more reason for them to just leave.
Yes.
Just leave.
Yeah, it reminded me a
Gotham
lot.
in its worst day.
It reminded me a lot of Gotham.
A lot, he said.
I mean, even the way the movie was shot, some
So-
of the colors reminded
Let
me
me-
of some Batman movies. You know, like the Joel Schumacher one.
Middle 60s Batman was shot better than this shit.
Joel Schumacher, that was.
He is
The
he's
super
Bat-
colorful Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one that should never have happened, and he apologized.
Oh, it was definitely the worst, but it reminded me of that in a way.
He did both of them. He did
Did he?
Batman, Robin, and Forever.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're right.
you say so.
But he still did the one that he apologized for, as
Yeah.
he should.
Batman and Robin is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
As a fan of horror, primarily, I know
Yeah.
you like all cinema, but as a fan of horror, what are some takeaways for you with this movie?
Again, the special effects, insane. I didn't really think it was. I don't know why it's labeled as a horror movie. I don't think it was a horror movie.
It's more of an action.
I thought it was. I thought it was.
But that-
No, no, no,
like a
it's-
comic
no.
movie.
It's labeled as a horror movie because
I'm
of
not
all
saying
the
it's a
blood
horror
and
film.
guts.
I'm saying, as a fan of horror,
Yeah.
though, what are some of your takeaways from it?
Well,
I guess.
for a lot of horror movies, like most of them don't have a story. They're like, it's just stuff, people dying, blood everywhere, kills. To get your popcorn, enjoy the movie. It's not too serious.
I couldn't eat something and watch this movie.
Oh. Or don't get your popcorn. I'm just saying, it's like an hour and a half of just fun. It's not like a serious movie. It's not like an Academy Award winning where you're really going to get invested in everything. But I think this one did have a story to it. It reminded me more of a comic book movie than it did a horror movie myself. And I don't know, I really liked it.
What constitutes something being a black comedy action film? Because that's what it's labeled as online.
We talked
I have
about
no
this.
idea.
Yeah. It's,
What is the black? Like,
But you've taken this out of context
It is a
before.
dark comedy.
is that what they mean by it?
Yeah.
I just didn't know because I don't.
It's
I mean,
a
we
dark
did this on
comedy
one of
with
the other
horror
episodes.
aspects, but I mean, I wouldn't label it a horror movie whatsoever.
it's not even labeled horror on here. It's
I would-
comedy
yeah.
action.
Jordan Peele directed this for real, and those are really all
I would-
black people with white paint on their faces.
I would
Black comedy.
I would probably.
I was genuinely asking.
I would probably label this as a dark comedy / action film / gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no gore written in here, and I don't know why not, because there's plenty of it in this movie.
For sure.
Is gore a genre of movie though? I don't know. That's probably.
I
why.
mean,
I've never seen that
is
movie labeled
metalcore
as that.
technically a genre of? I mean, like
Yeah.
We're creating a new genre of film. It's
Well,
called
no.
gore.
Well, when you see
Well,
the
if that's
sub,
the case, and yes, this is one of them, and it's a beautiful example of it.
It is.
when you see the subcaptions coming on most of the streaming things now, in the like upper left corner, it says nudity, violence, gore. It'll say like those things. So, but
Yeah.
maybe not a genre, but at least descriptive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like it's a horror film for the most part. It is.
No, I don't
It is
see
a
horror
gore. It does have a lot of gore, but I don't feel like it's a horror film.
I guess depends on your perception though, because like if you lived in a city like that, it'd be pretty horrific. So I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it does have some horror elements, but not really. To me, it reminded me of a comic book movie.
I mean, what's funny about this movie is you really don't even have to, like, usually we go through parts of the movie and we haven't done that yet, and the reason why is because you don't have to. The title just explains the whole thing.
Well, to go through the plot of the movie, I mean,
watch that 2-minute trailer. You're good.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a $350 or $150 trailer.
Really?
So it costs $150 to make that trailer.
I did not know that.
Well, I mean, look at the budget.
the basic plot to the movie is literally Rutger Hauer wants some money, wants to earn a little money on the side somehow so he can get a lawnmower, so he can open his own
So he eats glass.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes and eats glass
Well, the
and
bum
does like
fight. There's a
hobo,
bum
the bum
fight, guys.
fights, does the bum fights to try to get his lawnmower. And there's so much bad shit happening in the city, he buys a gun instead and starts shooting all the assholes, essentially, in the film. And then has this young girl that helps him, and he kind of, I don't even think it's like a love thing. I think it's more like a father-daughter.
By the way,
thing.
I think I'm going to be switching the movie that I texted you guys the other night. I've got a different choice, and I'm going to reference it now. I don't care.
Okay.
There are elements to me in this of the Michael Douglas movie Falling Down.
Right. Absolutely.
Because you've got a guy who's literally on his last
Yeah, all
end.
he
He's
can
seeing
stand is he
everything.
can't stand it
Everything
anymore.
around him is just crumbling. He can't stand it.
I don't
He
remember
decides to be
He
reactive.
just had enough.
Never mind. That
Yeah.
just hit me.
Okay.
Thank you. I didn't really want to watch that anyway.
It's amazing.
Falling Down's probably better, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Michael Douglas movies, so
Have you ever seen Falling Down?
no.
Falling Down's a good movie.
Yeah.
Dude,
You're
that's
going-
why I'm here because I don't
Yeah,
watch shit.
You will
I've
appreciate-
just rewatched all the Scrubs again, and I started the League over again. I'm already back into season 4.
you
League is amazing.
You will watch Falling Down and go, I understand this movie. This movie makes so much sense.
And you know what's funny is, but when you see it when you're younger, because I saw it when I was younger first, I just kind of liked it, and then I rewatched it again probably like 3 years ago, and I was like, holy shit, I've never identified with the movie more in my life.
Yeah, as an adult, you watch this movie and you're like, I get this movie.
Yeah.
This movie.
I know
It
where
I
resonates hard.
like, I understand this movie on a different
You know what?
level.
I think I'm gonna change mine too. I
Uh-oh.
have one I don't think you guys are ready for. But we'll talk about
Ooh.
that another day.
Okay.
Okay.
What's that look for? A little twinkle in your eye.
Budget box office.
Oh, Piper wants to come in.
I know. And
And you fucked up. Fuck you, JP. So I look at Wikipedia just because it's easier for me to read and it's easier to go through. But this has a budget of $3 million.
It's amazing
yeah.
that they would be able to do all this for $3 million.
The box office. Have anybody looked at the box
Oh
office?
yes, I've got it right here.
I don't know what it is.
What do you think?
I'm gonna say it was on
150,000.
very limited screens, and I'm gonna say probably 1.5.
It was at Sundance. It was released at Sundance.
Yeah, but Sundance
Probably did really well
they,
there,
They don't
honestly.
get paid at Sundance, right? Is it, they're
No, that's
No,
just
but usually that'll give you a little bit more of a boost. Oh,
Yeah.
it was there. We need to go see it. I got a box office here of $834,953.
That is total domestic and international.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Total.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So it didn't make its money back. So we're
Not
not getting
even
Hobo with a Shotgun sequel.
thank God.
It did make its budget back.
How? He just
DVD,
DVD
sales.
release.
Public school kid.
DVD sales.
Okay, yeah.
It made its
That
budget
don't
back.
count.
It does.
It counts, but it don't count.
I mean, it counts if it's a considerable amount because then they might do a.
What did it make in
does,
that? What did it make?
It does in a Grindhouse film because they didn't expect to make their money back at the theaters.
How much did it do?
It did another.
5,600,000.
Well, it total between theatrical and DVD Blu-ray sales is 4 million, a little over 4.
So
a little over 4
barely.
million. Yeah. So for a Grindhouse movie though, making an extra million on
See,
a
but,
three-
okay,
$3
but that
million
leads me to my
budget.
next
You also
question.
gotta-
Then. For the amount of people that love Grindhouse movies, why do they not do better? Because there's not many of
It's
you
a
out
very
there.
niche
so-
audience.
so
Yeah,
here-
it's-
I'll tell you why.
It's a
Hold on.
targeted audience.
I'll tell you why though,
It's like
because
this big.
you have in this situation you have an unknown director because Jason Eisner was not a known director at all. Now you take the double feature that Quentin Tarantino released after he had already established himself with Pulp Fiction, and that thing crushed the box office. It did well. No, I wouldn't say crushed, but it did very well. Oh boy.
Me and Heather started it the one day, and I can openly admit that I fell asleep.
Pulp Fiction.
And then,
See, I'm
and
not
then,
a- I'm
and
not a
then in the
Pulp
middle
Fiction
of it,
fan.
we had to stop it for some reason. I don't remember what happened, and like I don't think she ever. I think
It's
I
not
just
his best
recently told her
movie.
that I fell asleep.
It's not his best by any
It's
means.
good,
no,
though.
yeah.
I had the guy that gave him his break on my show a couple weeks ago for Christmas. Robert Kurtzman actually gave him his break. He gave him his first job. He wrote the movie From Dusk Till Dawn, and he had Quentin do the screenplay. It came out after these other movies, but he got the job before Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. All
Yeah,
that.
and did the
I
special
didn't.
effects.
There was a short film of Hobo with a Shotgun before the movie, right?
That's the trailer for the
That's it.
Grindhouse. Yeah, that's what it is.
So I have a question for you regarding your podcast. You had somebody who is a little bit of a hero to me on your show, and it was Kincaid from.
Ken Stegos.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
he's a good dude.
So Dream Warriors is
It's
one of my-
everyone's favorite
Yeah, it's
nightmare.
one of my favorite animes. I definitely love that. I don't know the majority's feeling on this, but I do love Freddy vs. Jason. That's up there for me. I could put it into the fold.
I like the
and
soundtrack.
and I have had this discussion on his podcast of how I am not a Nightmare on Elm Street fan. However, I love Freddy versus Jason,
Oh, it's great. They did it so well.
and it's only because of Jason. Why? And it's because of Jason fighting.
But you're also
Voorhees.
obsessed with Jason.
I mean, fighting.
I think it was a
Freddy.
better Nightmare
But-
movie than a Friday movie.
Yeah, for
It-
sure.
it-
Because
it
it's more
was.
in Freddy's world. It was. It
It
leaned
was.
towards him.
Which is odd that I do love that movie because I'm not a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Now, that being said, I do enjoy Part 3.
Oh yeah,
Part-
yeah.
That's
Part
how
three was
Nightmare-
Freddy Avengers.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, I did enjoy. And the first one I can watch. Second one, no. Fourth and fifth one, no.
So
And you
what
go
he just
on.
told me was pick number 2, because then he has to watch it. Like he picks stuff that I have to watch.
Right. Absolutely.
So, you know, I like the backstory to Freddy, and I also like the ability to not be in control of the scenario. Like Jason, he's running at you, you can run, he's still solid.
And
Yeah.
You know, like,
He does.
but the,
Freddy is the scariest. son of a
not
bitch
having
because
power
he's
in a dream, like, oh.
the thing with Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's odd because I don't like the series. However, I love the character Freddy. I love Robert Englund as Freddy. I think he's great. I just don't like the films for whatever reason. I'm not big on the films.
I just wanted to be known that I had one goal today, and it worked.
Okay.
And
We have spent more time talking about other stuff than this shitty ass movie.
I think we covered the movie.
We
pretty
covered
good,
it, but
too,
we
though.
didn't do what we usually do, and it worked.
But it's not a bad film. That's all I know.
No, I think
We've
it's
had a good
very
conversation about many other things that I think was good to talk about, but I
But
was
that's-
able to derail this hobo. So
You didn't derail shit because you've had 4-minute tangents on Jersey Shore. We've had 4-minute
I have
tangents
not
on
done
Star
4
Wars.
minutes on
We always have tangents. That's what we do.
yeah, but this has been a 40-minute tangent, not about this.
That's not true.
rating.
0.
No, you can't do
Zero.
it.
Point 1.
You gotta at least give it a 1.
Okay.
Why is
No,
it
you don't know. It's his rating.
No,
his
no,
rating.
he's right. He's right. I did not hate the story, the actual storyline of it. I did not hate the storyline. I did not hate his acting in it. I did not hate her acting in it. Everything else around it
You just
was
hated the gore.
trash. I didn't hate the gore. I hated the way everyone was over the top. I hated everything. They killed Rob Wells too early. 1.5.
That did piss me off a little bit.
One
that
and a
they
half.
killed it because I thought he was.
They could have left him in a little bit longer because he's
I
a
thought he was
great
going to
actor.
make it out of that
He is
scenario.
such a
and get
good
maybe
actor.
Killed
He-
later.
the fact that he can play Ricky the way he played, that dude is a great actor, and he could have been used a lot more. But a side
But
note,
back then,
did
he
you
wasn't
know this?
established in any way as a minor character.
No.
Trailer Park Boys
Trailer Park
was
Boys has
pretty
been
big.
around for a
This
long
guy, the
time.
director, was a
I
producer on it.
won't watch an episode. So I
But
don't
here's
know.
the thing: did anyone catch there was one other person in the movie from Trailer Park Boys?
Yes,
Sam.
it was, yeah.
He was one of the cops, and they were throwing out. And I was like, it's Sam, and I'm like, and then he was gone. So 1.5.
1.5. Okay.
I'll give him 1.5, and that is so generous.
This movie for me is probably going to be my lowest score, but it's not for the reasons James pointing out. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely am a fan of Rutger Hauer. I definitely did appreciate the story and the intentions. I did appreciate the over dramatization of certain aspects of gore and things like that. So I went with a 2 point, and I'm doing it for you, James. 2.7. No, the 0.7 I meant the decimal.
You guys score on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
2.7 Sin Nerds, however, our rating.
Mine's
Okay.
a 1.5 nerd.
1.5 nerd. No, I thought the movie was very well shot. I thought the act. I liked everything about it, man. I'm gonna give it a 4.
All right.
A solid 4, yeah.
Okay.
We're
That
gonna watch
happened?
it again.
Was that with a
For
shotgun?
the fourth time.
For
in a
time a
month.
week.
Was that with a shotgun?
It was with
I might not watch
anything.
it today, but
Anything.
yeah, we'll probably
The new 12 gauge I'm
talk
buying.
about it on my show. It's a great. I thought it was a great movie.
Okay. So my rating.
Found very little wrong with it.
He's gonna give it a 7 out of 5.
My rating. No, actually, I actually
He found extra nerds in the couch.
Ryan was actually preaching this movie how much he actually enjoyed this film more than I did. That I felt coming into this. However, I'm going to rate this better than I will ever rate that piece of crap movie I watched on your recommendation, Rebel Moon.
You're so flawed with that, but that's okay.
I was going to give it a 2.8.
Would you give it 2.7?
2.8 nerd.
I start keeping track of these points. We need to get like a dry erase board and start tallying.
I was thinking about the other day. I think we're gonna get some averages here and some analytics going with this because I want to see.
And you guys are gonna kick yourself for giving him these odd fractions.
That's my
Well,
fault.
that's his fault. So I only do that because of him.
Being
Otherwise,
honest,
I'd
I'm
do
just
2.5
being
for a
honest.
straight holes.
We can do math. Got
Should be
calculators.
I can math.
2.75,
I can math.
2.5,
I can math. I
2.7,
can't read. Well, I mean, we did
2.6.
talk about that. JP can't read. He can math.
I can't read. I can math.
JP, fuck you.
And that's out. We're sitting. No,
So, Ryan, you know all this. Where can they find us? What can we do here?
we appreciate emails at 3cinenerds@gmail.com. That way you can give us any of your suggestions, any of your questions, and we can get back to you. And we want you to be part of this with us.
You have a
contact
Where can
or
they
a
find
website?
you?
any contacts or
On the
links
Facebook
or-
and the YouTube Whole Damn Enchilada podcast. On Facebook, for some reason, they wouldn't let me spell damn right, so it's DAM on Facebook. But on YouTube, it's spelled properly, DAMN. And yeah.
And also, if you are having any issues finding it, you can look through some of our areas on our page because we've shared it and we
Or
have
just
them on
send
our
it to
page
us
as
and
well.
we'll send you
Yeah.
the link. We can take care of it. JP's good at that.
Yeah, I have my moments. Yeah, just be sure to click like, follow, subscribe, leave us a review on any of the podcast apps you're checking us out on. We appreciate any follows or.
I
reviews
actually
that
Oh.
we see.
wouldn't mind knowing what apps you guys are using.
Well, yeah,
It'd be
that's
nice to know,
that's
like-
important.
So if you could, or maybe we should put up a post saying like, "Hey, what are you guys listening on or
But
watching
that-
on?" So
I listen to
that
it on
said-
iTunes and Spotify. I got you followed on both, and if I'm driving and it clicks to an episode I've already listened to it, let's do it again.
Well, thank you.
you're better than us.
Well, I was gonna say,
iTunes I like the best.
if you go into our bio feature on our Facebook, you'll see there's a Linktree link there. Click the Linktree link. That also will take you to any of the platforms that we're on, as well as our merch store. We just have put on, thanks to JP, you got it all set up for us.
Yeah, I actually added some merch. We have some stickers. I have a hoodie on there and a T-shirt.
Nice,
So
love it.
Be purchasing me a T-shirt.
And I still don't have one. Unreal.
I don't have one yet either.
This is
So.
I don't either.
bullshit. Send some stars, people. We need some stuff. All right. Well, with that, that was Hobo with a Shotgun, the worst movie I've ever seen.
He'd like to have a shotgun.
I-
shoot himself before he
I'm
watched
buying a
it.
new 12 gauge this week, so yeah, might just show up with that someday. But until the next episode next week, we are your Cine Nerds.
Later.
Later.
Bye bye.